This is the Rebbe Marash related to his son, the Rebbe Rashab. Once, on an occasion, he said to him, today, I had two guests that came to Yechidus, and one of them I had tremendous nachas, and the second, deep pain, anguish. He goes on to explain. I had the Chassid, Elia was his name, from the hamlet called Abele. That was its name. Now he had in brackets here, there was a time when the Rabbeim worked to make the hamlets, to turn them into like towns, because the Russian government had decreed that Jews shouldn't live in the Yeshuvim. So I don't know the details of this, but a Yishuv they couldn't live, they had to be in the city. So they worked to develop the Yeshuvim to conform to the definition of a town. At any rate, so he was one fellow that came, the Elia Abele from the town of Abele, and the Blazer from Polotsk, who was a big Talmud Chacham and the author of a sefer called Mishnas Eliezer. And he describes that Reb Marash tells his son what happened. So the Elia from Abele, that's the name of the place, was in Yechidus. So I asked him, Reb Elia, was Herzach, how are things? And he was a business person, a simple fellow, and he answered, Baruch Hashem. And how is your business? I asked him. How is Asik? And he answered, Baruch Hashem. But you know, Rabbi, he said, I have tremendous pain from Yosef, who lives with us in the Yishuv. He has no success. We gathered money for him. We bought him a horse and a wagon. He should be able to travel to the city with some merchandise. And every time something happens, some mishap, once the wagon, which connects the wheels, what's it called? Sorry.
The axle.
The axle breaks, yeah. And then the horse broke its leg. Once they stole from him. Every shlemazel that could happen happens to him. And he said to him, Rebbe, how can I help him? He sighs and he cried. He started crying. Rebbe, bench him. So the Rebbe Marash answered him to Reb Elia. He said to him, you can help him greatly. When a Yid is in pain over the pain of another Jew and he asks for him, so with this, he takes off his fellow Jew the kitrugim, the heavenly accusations, the gvuras, and breaks all the difficult dinim. And that's how you can help him. Which you are doing, he's saying. And then the Reb Marash took a coin out from his pocket and he gave it to Rebbe Eli and he said to him, I want to be a partner with you. And Hashem should help you, that you should be able to do favors to Yidden, and it should be batzlacha. Rebbe Eli, getting the coin from the Rebbe Marash, trembled. Rebbe, with me you want to make shutfus, a partnership? Rebbe, do you know who I am? He says, I'm a chaymer gas, I'm a coarse material. That in Tanya, he says, it's only Eitzah is to break it. Tanya brings from the Zohar that a log that doesn't catch fire, you have to splinter it. I have to be splintered. The Rebbe Marash, and Fili Rebbe, he told over the story to our Rebbe, said, and now is not the time to go into what the Rebbe Marash answered on this point, but conclusion of this Yechidus was he had from him tremendous nachas. What he answered to Rebbe Eli is saying, I need to be broken. We don't know what he answered. But that's part one of the story. The Rebbe is telling over all of this to our Rebbe. or could be saying it at a sikha. Not sure. So that was one chassid. That same day, this Rabbi Polotsk, the author of the Sefer Mishnah Eliezer. So when he came in, so the Rebbe Marash asked him, what is, how are things? To which he said, Baruch Hashem, he has a deep shear with the young fellas there in Polotsk, and they learn well. And on Shabbos, they daven barichas more than the minyan. They meditate, and they learn the Chassidus, and they daven. And so things are good, are wonderful. That Marash said to him, and what's with their character traits, their personalities, their midas? To which Rabbi Eliezer said, like well-to-do, like young well-to-do fellas. Or more to the point, like young fellas from wealthy backgrounds. Meaning to say, there's an entitlement and arrogance on a certain level. So Rebbe Manashi said to him, the blame is the educator, not their fault. The beginning of all education is to educate in good character traits, not to learn the book, but the book should teach the person, should learn him, teach him. And he said to him, when you go back to Polotsk, I want you to establish a Milas Chasadim, a free loan fund. And each one of these young fellas, they were all supported by their fathers-in-law and sitting and learning and dabbling and so on. Verbringing. He said, each one should give half the dowry. To which Rabbi Eliezer responded, I won't be able to be successful to demand this from them. The Marash said, you'll be successful, you'll be able to. You tell them. Like first he said, if I'm telling you to do it, said the Marash, you'll be able to affect this. Tell them when they give, they're not giving their own. It's not theirs. And if they don't give, even this they won't have. And then he said to him, when you come back again next time to Lubavitch, I want to hear better regards from you. And then the Rebbe Marash conclude telling the story to the Rebbe Rashat, who told the Fidig Rebbe, who told our Rebbe who shared this in the Fabrengen. He said the Rebbe Marash said to Rebbe Rashat about these two guests. He said, if I would have given into my neshama, my godly soul, I would have given Rabbi Eli a kiss on the forehead, would have kissed him. So this is a story in accordance with what we're learning, that in terms of Avodah, it all has to translate in refinement of the character. Since we have a minute or two left, we don't. We do or we don't. It's more than a minute. Not really. Okay, friends. So have a wonderful Shabbos.